folks, and welcome to another episode of Will's Review. I'm your host, Will D, and today we're going to start off with a little bit of sports talk. First thing first, the NBA playoff bubble thing is going on. The West is still up and going. A lot of Game Sixes are happening today and tomorrow. Possible Game Sevens continuing. So, only thing for sure in the West is that somehow, some way, Damian Lillard failed us all, and the Lakers are going to the next round. Just a fact. I know. After an incredible game one, they just could not win anymore. Other than that, the East Coast is pretty much all done. You have the Heat versus the Bucks, and then the Celtics versus the Raptors. So the East Coast playoffs gonna be starting, and we'll see who walks out of that. I'm still hoping for the Bucks versus the Clippers in the finals, but we'll see how that works out. Considering that Damian Lillard let the damn Lakers get by, such a hot run into the playoffs, and then they just no. Um, but yeah, so I suppose the Yankees have dropped to second. It was a big wrestling weekend. So the rest of this goes from sports to sports entertainment, as we had two pay-per-views last weekend, and there is one more tonight, which I don't know. I felt like there was a long gap between pay-per-views with WWE, and then now they're running like 2 weekends back to back. So last weekend we had NXT Takeover 30, and we also had SummerSlam, which was also really late. I feel like SummerSlam normally comes earlier than the ending of August. Um, but we have Payback tonight, and I'm just wondering, what are you doing, WWE? I know you were trying to do the whole Thunderdome nonsense that it's not hitting the same way you thought it would. Especially considering the name is supposed to be some dope 80s thing 30 years later. I mean, come on. Really? Really? But anywho, NXT Takeover 30 was actually uh, really like man. I kind of wanted more out of it. I felt like a lot of the matches were just all right. Although there were a few really good shining moments. So first we have the triple threat for the number one contender for the tag team championship. You had Legado del Fantasma, Breezango, and Lorcan and Birch. Right now, I'm sorry, but that number 1-2 thing with Lorcan and Birch, I'm kind of tired of them, to be honest. I mean, I get it. They're not bad in the ring. I like them as solo wrestlers. Their tag team thing was a funny gimmick at first, and now it's just kind of annoying. I understand that the roster is a bit depleted, but we're also seeing that the roster is starting to grow again. So give me some more combinations, some better teams. Maybe even bring back that 1-2-3 thing for a quick moment. I don't know, but it's just not hitting for me the way it should. Anywho, Breezango ended up winning that match, and a few nights later winning the tag team championship. So shout out to Breezango. But that match, all in all, was actually really good. It was really fun. It was a good triple threat kind of tag kind of thing going on. After that, it takes a little while, but I mean, look, we had Finn Balor versus the Thatcher guy, right? And they're really trying to boost this Thatcher guy after like a quick tag team run to introduce him. You know, with the bro. Look, this match had no importance whatsoever on any storyline whatsoever. It wasn't bad. You can't really go bad with Finn Balor in a match. He's a great seller. But you can skip it. If you're watching the replay, skip it. It's not worth your time. Finn Balor wins. Boom. Next, you had Bronson Reed, Grimes, I don't even know. We had the Velveteen Dream in there. Gargano was in there. And then Damian Priest. I mean, there was a lot of names. We've been watching a bunch of these triple threat matches for the last 2-3 weeks, and it all came together into this big 5-man ladder match for the North American Championship, which I do like the idea of it. I was really mad though that it was just kind of up for grabs. Like we were really big into the two belt champ. He finally got it. Like he just got it. He won it, and then it's like a few nights later, he's just like, man, let's give people chances. Like we got a black guy with 2 belts. We can't rock with that for a week. We can't make it to 2 Wednesdays. We let it go down. Like nah, I don't know. But Okay, so Keith Lee gives up this championship. A whole bunch of people are vying for it. And then the one thing I really wanted was for the next fat guy to do it, right? Like the first Aussie, North American. Nah, they gave it to Damian Priest. And I know I shouldn't be mad because he's a New Yorker. And also, he's fun to watch in the ring. But I really, really wanted Bronson Reed to win this because, Keith Lee goes, another fat guy gets it. Then you can have Damian Priest take it from him. But, I really wanted this because Bronson Reed really was a walk-in. Not a lot of hope for him. He showed a lot of impressive move sets, but they got him quickly out of a tournament. In fact, the guy with the big smile that won that actual tournament for a contract and a chance at the title, haven't seen him in a long time because of some nonsense about a bad T-shirt looking kind of racist or whatever. That was a waste of time for everybody. Bronson Reed could have won then. I really like this guy. He's big, he's agile, he's powerful, and then he's not too dominant. He's a big guy who can win and lose, which allows you a lot of flexibility with storyline. Anywho, Damian Priest wins. It was a really fun match. The typical problem in any ladder match is that moment when, the person's like 6-something and they pretend they can't reach the belt. Happen all the time in this match. But other than that, solid match. Some real destruction done to some of these wrestlers. Some of the property. Great fun. We also had Adam Cole versus some Pat McAfee dude from ESPN. Whatever. No one cared. This was still fun to watch just because Adam Cole kicked the crap out this dude at the end of the match. That alone saved the entire thing for me. But no lie, Pat McAfee had a few really pure athletic displays that I cannot complain about. It made it more interesting because you were surprised that this walk-in actually had a skill set. But, we all knew they weren't going to let Adam Cole lose, so what was the point in having the match? Let him kick him a few times outside of matches, I would have been suffice. But this happened, Adam Cole won, we move on. Now, this match was a little disappointing. Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai. And why it was disappointing is that I've seen Dakota Kai wrestle better. I've seen Io Shirai have better matches. This just kind of felt like they were both doing it to do it. The rivalry wasn't as built up as it could have been. You had the obvious interference coming. It was more interesting at the end to see, the big girl show off post-match than it was to actually watch this match. But there's nothing actually really too wrong with it. It was a solid match for the championship. Io Shirai walks away with the belt. And then the final match of the night with Keith Lee versus Karrion Kross. Definitely for me the best match of the night. Two big men. Very powerful match. And with Karrion Kross winning, it really was a bit of a shocker. You had him just give up one belt. Now he just lost the next belt. I was hoping for a redemption story, but then you realize when NXT loses a championship, 9 out of 10 times when the NXT champion loses, it's because he's been promoted. So the very next night, we see Keith Lee make his name on WWE Raw, and I have some hopes that he doesn't get lost in the sauce as long as they keep him active early. I think the fact that there's a short list roster right now could be very advantageous for someone like him. There's also a short list of black wrestlers right now since the New Day guys are hurt. I wouldn't even mind seeing him join the New Day for a quick minute, or at least Big E in a couple of tag team, maybe a short tag team run with the two of them. Let's see what happens. Keith Lee, don't get lost in the sauce. Karrion Kross, congratulations. I know you're hurt. You're going to get another title run. You made a good move leaving Impact and going to the big league brand. So, congrats.
Keith Lee doing the storyline with Randy Orton now?
Yeah, they're kind of working it in right now with him and Randy Orton, but we'll see how long that lasts. It's not going to be a long-term move for Keith Lee. A lot of these wrestlers come in with a quick storyline. Right. They introduce them, they try to blow them up from NXT, and then they get lost in the sauce. I'm talking about Keith Lee being relevant now in the first 2 months can be really great, right? This Randy Orton thing, building from maybe not Payback, but another 2 pay-per-views down the road, could be something interesting. But I'm talking about in 6 months from now, will people remember Keith Lee? Mm-hmm. That's what I'm focused on. I want to know that this same time next year, I'm talking about Keith Lee at SummerSlam. You get what I'm saying? He's a good wrestler. He's been doing it for a long time, and I was happy to see him notice. Plus, shout out to the otakus who mess with this dude because he literally named his finishers after Dragon Ball Z moves. So yeah, you see, that's why I'm also a sucker for it. Like he's a blur. I rock a blur. But from the minor league to the big leagues, we move on to SummerSlam. And SummerSlam, I was surprised that, well, in both shows, that the kickoff match was actually pretty good. Now, we've seen this happen a bunch of times, which is why I'm going to lower the score, but Apollo Crews versus MVP is a solid match each and every time. The best part of the match for me, though, was post-match when he kind of just knocks everybody out of his way, flips out, runs with the belt like it was realistic. So I give this match a 3 out of 5 simply because we've just seen it. We've seen it for almost every week in some way, shape, or form that Apollo Crews is fighting everybody from this group. All right, we get it. He's won the belt twice now. Hopefully we don't see this as another thing at Payback. We don't need it. We don't. I'd rather see him fight Lashley for the belt. That would be more interesting. All right. Then we had Bayley versus Asuka. There's nothing wrong with the match other than the fact that I already knew that Bayley was going to win. Why? Because Sasha is going to have to be the one to take Bayley's belt. The only way Bayley is going to lose her title is to Sasha Banks. So we're going to see tonight if they let them continue to be tag team champions. But along the way, I'm telling you, Sasha's going to have to be the one to take Bayley's belt. And they're also way more fun when they're on the same show, which is why they made sure they were tag team champions so they can hop from show to show together. It's okay. I'm fine with it. I would also like WWE, though, to stop making Sasha the scapegoat in this. Every time Bayley gets to be a champion or whatever the case may be, she gets a title run, Sasha helps her out, boom. I don't know if it's because Sasha also wanted to pursue a music career, but every time that Sasha gets a belt, she loses it literally like the next night. The next freaking night. Either the next night or the next pay-per-view. Sasha never gets a belt for more than a month, and this bothers me. But she also comes and goes as she pleases. I don't know if it's a contract thing that they kind of just give us a moment where we're like, yay, Black Lady wins, and then, it's done. But to continue on the same road, later on that night, Sasha lost the belt to Asuka. I can't complain. Asuka needs a belt. Why does anyone but Asuka have a belt? This doesn't make any sense to me. Why is Bayley running with the belt for like a year when Asuka's been wrestling this entire time? I can't figure this out. I don't care if it's 1-on-4, 1-on-5. If Asuka's in the match, no one is ready for Asuka. Period. I wanted Asuka to beat Bayley and lose to Sasha Banks. That's all I wanted. You did it the other way around. Screw you, WWE. Now, the Street Profits also had a tag team championship match. They were against Andrade and Garza. I love these guys. These are great tag teams to have a versus, to have a rivalry with. It's much better than the nonsense that was going on with the Viking Raiders, especially with Zelina being great on the mic. I am happy the Street Profits won. I really didn't care who won this match. It was a solid 3.5 out of 5 match. But again, the ending got a little predictable. Not upset with it. Just, it is what it is. Mandy Rose was also in a no disqualification match with Sonya Deville. I know they tried to hype it up. I think this match would have been better than being a no disqualification loser leaves WWE match than if they just left it at a hair match. I really would. I would have preferred watching at the end of this match that someone got their head shaved. I think that's what we all wanted. And when that became a no, you just leave WWE thing, I know I lost interest in this match almost immediately. And then I actually saw the match and I had no interest in it almost immediately. This thing just dragged on and on. I'm sorry, but Mandy Rose is not a hardcore wrestler in any way, shape, or form. The fact that Sonya Deville lost this match was like watching Natsu in a fight in Fairy Tail. Pure plot armor. I'm not buying it. I'm not taking it. This match was basura. You're watching on the replay, skip it. Now, Dominic had a match against Seth Rollins. I think this is the 20th anniversary of the nonsense when Rey Mysterio fought Eddie Guerrero for ownership of him. This match was not as funny or comical. This match also wasn't that bad. I give Dominic a lot of credit. In the last few weeks, this is probably the best performance that he had. The most believable, the most realistic, and it led to a Seth Rollins win. So everything about it was just right. Only thing is, though, I could have gone without the Mysterio Murphy aspect of it and his mom walking up and playing. They did a little too dramatic in that regards. But as far as the actual fighting and performance, solid match. 3.5 out of 5. Definitely don't skip this match. It is worth a watch. It's not as corny as you may think it's going to be. Drew McIntyre fought Randy Orton for the title. McIntyre won. I mean, only thing about Drew McIntyre, besides him being a new champion, is that with all the years out of WWE, there isn't a lot of story that he has. So it's hard to get a lot of verses. Randy Orton, you can have work with anybody. He's a bad guy who just finds any reason to fight anyone if he thinks that their shine is brighter than his. So I understood the matchup, the rivalry. They try to bring up some stuff. They did a really bad job, like chopping up Randy Orton, punting Ric Flair. Honestly, after all the stuff that's come out of Ric Flair's mouth, I wish they had let him kick him. But, all in all, I didn't care enough about the match. It was still a solid match. It was just a 3 out of 5 match. Drew McIntyre is going to have a lot of 3 out of 5s because we don't care about him the same way we once did. And he shouldn't have been a champion at the time that he was. If this had been coming off of the him and Ziggler tag team thing, it would make more sense. Yep. Ziggler carried all of the character. Drew McIntyre as a solo wrestler, it's not hitting the same way. If they had did this when he first came from Impact over, it would have been better because he was coming from being a champion. He's just a random champion who's a beast of a fighter, and we like to see him fight. That's all. But last but not least, Braun Strowman fought The Fiend, and this match was unnecessary. The Fiend won. Strowman is an angry monster again, and WWE does not know what to do with that brand at all right now. So on that note, that's the end of the sports talk. We're going to go to our first commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have a little bit of the news, and then we're going to hop into a deep dive into movies you should watch, take a chance on, and definitely watch. So, Charles, if you could, take us to our first break.
She's so fake.
She's such a slut. You can see the layers on her face.
Look at her chicken legs.
Oh my god. How short is that skirt?
I can't believe she didn't even put that on.
Is that her dress? It's not even on her hardly.
It's not even covering her up.
It's actually disgusting. Oh my god. How can she do her hair like that?
I don't even know how this girl has
I
friends.
saw her talking to Holden the other day. Who does she think she is?
I bet she slept with the whole football team. She's not even pretty. She's gained so much weight. She looks like a cow.
Such a good idea. Watch this.
You're good. Oh my god, that's so funny. You gotta post that. I got an idea past this.
Oh my god.
As mighty armies clash in a struggle for total domination, the scales can be tipped by one man who has the courage to confront his fate and make a choice that will decide the fate of the world.
Guys put a lot of smoke in today. Wow. But anyway, we expecting a real superhero? I don't think so. The real life superheroes are the ones that are helping out in their community today. And the LDM show will be there to bring you the events and stories to life. Do you know a real superhero? Let us know. But for now, follow us on Instagram and Twitter and like us on Facebook. Also visit our websites for photos, videos, and updates. But until the meantime, hey, I gotta be out of here.
That's a thing. But the pizza burger thing at Shake Shack's gonna be something new to clog your arteries, I guess. So just check that out if you want. I figured that I know there has to be one, like really big cheese loving like Americana person watching. So that's the only reason I bring that up. Also, the New York City Aquarium is now open again. So, they also have a new exhibit. So if you're someone who likes fishes and sea life, and that's for you. Krispy Kreme will be coming to 1601 Broadway in Times Square. So for all you donut lovers, that actually is way more convenient because I feel like going all the way to 34th Street has actually been super inconvenient. I just feel like I always end up in Times Square anyway, so at least it's right there. But there are not too many Krispy Kremes in New York, so that's actually kind of relevant. And there will be some local parks turned into public classrooms across the city. The city is allowing the principals of each school to kind of figure out what they want to do with that, how they want to maneuver that with their students and their staff.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so to reduce crowding indoors, they're going to let students be outdoors in large bunches. I mean, it ain't cold yet, right? But yeah, so that's going to be one theory that they have. I think that's why they're making it be subjective to each school and each principal because they realize it's a bad idea. But last but not least, free buses will be ending tomorrow. So if you've been enjoying the fact that bus drivers supposedly care about their 6 feet rule and yada, 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 and not having to pay for any buses to go anywhere, now you're going to need a Metro card for the buses and the train. So if you broke, get to stepping now. You're going to get them steps in. You're going to lose some weight. I know exactly. I know you were hoping to keep the extra fat going into winter, but sorry, bruh. You're going to be walking. Now, other than that, there's some other, stuff going on right now. So, first things first, I've been seeing everyone posting about Chadwick Boseman. All right? And we all know that he passed away far too early at 43 years old. I hope you rest in peace, man. I am sorry for your family's loss. I'm sorry for the loss of a hero to a lot of young black children out there. But honestly, I'm also a little upset. I feel like a lot of Americans reduced him to just being Black Panther and reduced him to being the King of Wakanda. One thing that you'll notice a lot with actors is that they don't always like being reduced to one role, and especially a very superficial role like a TV character or something supernatural, hero-y, that sort of thing. Chadwick Boseman wasn't just the King of Wakanda. He had plenty of roles in, what are we talking about? I think almost a 20-year career. I think it's about 17, 18 years exactly, from TV to movies, and that's just the stuff that he's actually credited in. He was also a man, but as a man, he chose to be a thespian, chose to be an actor, and he didn't just play the King of Wakanda. He also, did other important, prominent black people, Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall, James Brown even. He was a real actor. And he wasn't just the Black Panther. If you want to, a lot of people love Black Panther for what it stood for and this and the third. That was actually created by Marvel. That wasn't created by Chadwick Boseman. He played, he acted, he did what he loved and represented that character. What he did was literally become the face for Black Panther in real life. That's all it was, right? The character was beyond him, right? Stan Lee and them, they put together that character, made that world. They made Wakanda for you to give you that representation. He just was blessed by casting for a movie to be this guy. To somebody, he's somebody's son. He's somebody's, cousin and brother, and that's who he was. So when you're mourning the loss of this man, don't just mourn him as the King of Wakanda. Thanks for doing that one movie for us. Hey, we liked your movie. No. Mourn the man, the actual actor, who decided that he wanted for his life to entertain all of you, to pursue stories that he thought could entertain you, maybe show you a little something. He definitely wasn't just the King of Wakanda. And didn't just try to be that one black prominent person either. And he tried to just do various things, was on various shows. He even did soap operas to start off, you know. This was a person, you know, shout out to his whole crew that for 4 years, they kept something so important and major on the low. I mean, we all noticed the weight loss and didn't know why, but how many people can you say you can touch on something so important and it not leak, especially if you were someone important? So this is a loss for them. This is a loss for all of us, because beyond Black Panther, I'm sure that this man as an actor, as a person, probably would have represented in a lot more ways and did a lot more things and done even greater roles. This is a big loss for young black children in the sense that they lost their Black Panther. Because, let's believe me, Marvel will find a way to continue the storyline. In the comics, Black Panther is not just one person. It goes beyond that. So believe me, you're going to get your Marvel movies and whatnot for the rest of you guys. But for those little kids, what he was is that first face. You know, for some of us growing up, you know, 90s babies, our first real, like, black hero was Static Shock. Not to say he was the first in comics and stuff, and I'm sure there are a various amount of people who knew about black heroes and were on that before that, but we never really got to see them in cartoons and stuff as the lead character until then. You know, you had side characters on shows like Superman and Batman and X-Men and stuff like that that were of color, but Static Shock was actually about that young black kid coming into a superpower that you could relate to. I think Ryan Davis kind of put it all together, you know, best, but that's who he was for a lot of them. So for them, if they're the ones posting the Black Panther nonsense, that makes sense to me. But the rest of y'all, like, especially y'all who knew him, I hope he's more than just the King of Wakanda to you. Other than that, I'm gonna move to some other stuff that's been bothering me. So, like, I finally saw the Jacob Blake video. And Jacob Blake was a man who, you know, according to witness accounts, he was breaking up a fight. Cops come. They're trying to come at him. He's like, I'm not even involved in this. Trying to get back to his car, get back to his kids. And they shoot him 7 times. Now, some of you are like, well, why did he walk away from the cops and this, and the third? Regardless, even if you watch the video, I'm not saying it was a smart move. Definitely not a smart move. But he was walking away from the cops. He wasn't trying to get nothing, whatever. He was trying to leave the whole thing behind because in the first place, he was trying to do the right thing. When the cops actually shot him multiple times, 7 times to be exact, they had the cop actually has him by his shirt in his hands and could have pulled him away, could have kicked him, whatever. There was no reason to actually shoot him if you're trying to detain him. I don't see that detaining being easy. Don't get me wrong. But to shoot him 7 times, 7, not once, not twice, not even like by the side of his head to scare the crap out of him. 7 times in the back is excessive. Very excessive. And there have been times when cops have fought with people on the floor and didn't just pull out the gun at the end of it. No, they had him in their hands, and instead of wrestling the man to the ground, which they normally would have done, even punch and kick him. I'm not even going to say that's right, but it would have been better. 7 times. And thankfully, he's surviving. He's fighting. They've removed the handcuffs off him recently. But anyone who has any justification for why he should have been shot, F you. Point blank period. This man shouldn't have been shot like that. I don't know how anyone can try and justify the police action taken on that matter. And especially when originally, according to the witnesses, he was trying to stop violence in the first place. And then a lot of people are trying to paint a negative picture of him, while at the same time, there's a white guy who's just shot 2 protesters, actually shot 3 and 2 died, and they're trying to say, oh, but he used to do community service. So a man unjustly shot, you bring up a negative pass. A guy who literally gets caught shooting people unnecessarily, unprovoked. Nah, but, he used to be a good guy. And this right here, in a single week, is exactly what you've had all the rioting and the protests and the looting. All of it has been about the same thing shown in a quick example in the same week. Just read the news. Read the stories. It's in your face now. It's always been, but it's in your face now. How you can be against any movement. All lives matter people. If all lives matter, shouldn't you be in outrage over the black guy getting unnecessarily shot? Regardless if you agree with Black Lives Matter for the name. If all lives matter, all of these unnecessary things should be, something you're pissed about. You should want the guy who shot 2 people, 3 people unnecessarily to go to jail immediately. You should want the cops who killed the black guy or tried to kill him, literally, it's attempted murder, to be arrested because it could be you. And the people who were killed by, the active gunmen in Wisconsin were white. So you should even be more mad, right? This is one of yours. 2 of yours. Come on. I'm just saying, maybe I'm the bad guy here, but I really think you are. Okay. Another thing that's going on that has me a little perplexed. So Jason Mitchell is an actor, probably best known for his role on the show The Chi. He was the chef who was trying to, do things the right way, and he really is the character I think that starts to bring around everybody's stories. However, he was kicked off the show and kicked off of a movie for being a little handsy with multiple staff members on the productions team, and I think some co-stars as well. But now he's going to be playing in this biopic and starring in the story of Sean Bell. To which I'm not against the man working. I'm perplexed. I'm confused. You took this man off of 2 major projects just to make him star in the movie that's going to gain him sympathy, even though he's been known to kindly sexually molest people. I don't get it, Hollywood. You don't make any sense. Louis C.K. still is in trouble for touching himself. But this guy goes around touching other people unwittingly, and he gets work. And for those of you who don't know who Sean Bell is and why this would even be a movie, he's the story of a black man who was killed hours before his wedding by police. Just another name on a long list of people who are why we have the Black Lives Matter movement, unfortunately. All right. Now, a lot of stuff going on. R. Kelly, too, is also making news.
What?
Yeah, I know. That one surprised me. So now R. Kelly's making news again. Because he just got his butt beat in jail. Now, many of people would be like, well, yeah, that's what he gets for, touching little girls. It was about time they couldn't protect them. Yada, yada. All the stuff you're saying is not even what it's about. So because R. Kelly didn't really get a fair trial to some of his fans' eyes, right? They've been protesting a lot recently, right? Asking for due process and let R. Kelly go and all these different things. So every time that these guys are protesting and rallying whatever by the prison or, anywhere near these facilities, the prison itself goes into lockdown, which means, there's no outside time, rec is over, you're stuck in your cell. So the dude who beat R. Kelly's butt beat his butt because he was tired of always getting put in lockdown because R. Kelly's fans would not just, leave this matter alone. So R. Kelly got his butt whooped for having fans. This is great. This is great news. I have no idea how this happens. I don't know the name of the man who beat R. Kelly down. I don't know if I agree with your motivation, but at least somebody beat the man down. I said it. I'm just surprised that we didn't hear about this sooner, right? Like, the last thing about R. Kelly I knew was that he was asking to be released from prison because his health wasn't so well. And, bro, it's not supposed to be a luxury resort. But now that he's like, this would have made more sense if he's just like, I'm afraid of getting my butt whooped again. He is a high-profile, celebrity. He's also in there for touching young women. It would make sense that would be a legitimate fear. Maybe you can move him to a solitary facility or, some sort of lesser prison. I don't know. But, since they decided to say F you on the illness, well then, take the butt whipping. At least you didn't drop the soap. But speaking of some freaky stuff, Bella Thorne in the last few weeks broke a record and made $1 million or something in a single day on OnlyFans. So the other thing is that Bella Thorne also said she's not going to be doing any nudity on OnlyFans and at one point was selling a picture for $200 that was, I guess made private or something to seem like it was going to be a nude. So that's part of why she broke a record, right? People were trying to buy this $200 photo of Bella Thorne nude. So, to all the people out there who were desperate enough to find and do this, I don't know if it was about a year ago, 2 years ago, Bella Thorne had leaked nudes of herself onto the internet after her iCloud was hacked. Bro, you want to see Bella Thorne nude? Google it. That's all you have to do is Google it. An old article will have the pictures. Images may still have it. You might have to scroll down a bit. But if you want to see Bella Thorne nude, Google it. Don't pay $200 for one photo. My God. Secondly, for charging $200 for a non-nude photo that was claimed to be nude, OnlyFans is causing her, to apologize to people, since a lot of people want their money back. They're like, I paid for a nude photo, and she still had clothes on. I understand that. That's like buying a prostitute and getting a stripper. It's just not right. Are you kidding me? You paid. Sorry, bro. You lose. But OnlyFans says that they do have a standard. They have a cap on certain things. She overcharged based on their cap. They're not going to fine her or punish her for misleading the sale. But they will punish her for overcharging. They're trying to negotiate something, and Bella Thorne made an official apology online and all this nonsense. And I'm just like, all right, people. I don't want to hurt business. But porn is free. It's free. So many sites. Hell, you like Bang Bros and Naughty America and all those guys. They give you free trailers of the new scenes on free sites. They themselves have accounts on stuff like Pornhub and Xvideos to give you trailers to try and entice you to buy the full videos. But guess what? You're only going to need 5 minutes anyway. So what is the point of you buying these things? Maybe there's a girl you think is really hot and you want to see her in particular naked and you buy your one OnlyFans, cool. But Bella Thorne is a celebrity, folks. If a celebrity makes an OnlyFans, it's a Google search away. It's probably already on Pornhub. People, use your better judgment. There's no reason why I should hear in 3 weeks from now, oh, Kim Kardashian breaks the internet again by making an OnlyFans page. Her Ray J video's still there. Her body hasn't changed that much. Dude, you people are stupid. You're stupid. I'm trying to help you out. Stop with the OnlyFans. If the only reason for you to ever get an OnlyFans is if the girl that you're trying to find from Instagram doesn't have a Twitter. Again, if you want to purchase an OnlyFans, make sure the girl on Instagram doesn't have a Twitter. She has a Twitter. She puts her clips on Twitter to get you to go to OnlyFans. But guess what, folks? You saw the clip. You're good. Her boobies don't change. I don't know why I have to say this, but I feel like I have to say this. Get a Twitter account, folks. This is more important. Between Donald Trump's tweets and OnlyFans girls, all of America should have a Twitter. And the best part is, those UK series that you think make you smarter for watching, a lot of those actors don't have Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat. They have Twitter. So you can follow them there. See, look, all of it is there for you. Get a Twitter. This is not a paid sponsorship from Twitter. This is me really tired of hearing that my friends are losing their money to see naked girls when naked girls come free. I don't get it. Why strip clubs are still a thing? I don't get it. Okay, yes I do. Champagne rooms. But still, it's unnecessary for most of the folks who actually go there and can't even afford the champagne room. The internet exists, folks. Let's not waste our money where we don't need to waste it. That should be your 2020 end-of-year goal, because if you can save any of this money that Trump's been giving you and the government's been giving you for sitting on your butts at home while the rest of us have actually been working, save it and watch free porn. It's not complex math. It's quick maths, folks. Quick maths. All right? On that note, we're going to go to our last commercial break. When we come back, our fans of the week and a ton of movies for you to skip and watch. Charles, if you could. Hey everybody, I'm Will D.
I am Javier Luis.
I'm Alex Polanco.
I'm Apollonia Cruz.
And I'm Kelly Caboose.
I am Shirley Phillips.
I am Emmanuel Ansule.
Do you know 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence
during their lifetime?
And domestic violence and abuse can happen to anyone,
Regardless of gender, race, or other factors.
2 out of 3 homicide cases are
Females who were killed by a family member or intimate partner.
As domestic violence victims, they face high rates of depression,
sleep disturbances,
anxiety,
flashbacks, and other emotional distresses.
And without help, witnesses of domestic violence are more vulnerable to become abusers themselves,
thus continuing the cycle of violence in the next generation.
Hello, I'm Charles Aloma. Join the LDM network and Safe Horizon and take a step into changing these facts. So if you are or know someone that is being abused, please call the City Domestic Hotline at 1-800-621-4673. So that is 1-800-621-HOPE.
Speak up,
Speak out,
and make a difference.
And just know that you don't have to deal with this alone. There is help.
So we're gonna start off with our fans of the week. Charles, you ready? All right. So we have first Oscar De La Fuente, who's been a solid fan for the last year or so. So shout out to you, multi-winner. First time win though for Melissa Williams. So shout out to her. And we have another returning person, Hina Alam Jalali. So shout out to her. And then another newbie, Blake Stubblefield, which I guess that describes his beard, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, so shout out to all 4 of them. They're our Facebook fans of the week. And on the Instagram side, we have Sweet Lady Tiff, who literally, if you ever see her kids, she looks like she spat them out. It's ridiculous. Jordan Lane, who is becoming a meme prince in his own right, finding some solid stuff. Like this here with the Flash. Then we have Action Jackson, my boy Kevin, who is still doing his photography thing, has been taking a lot of interesting photos lately, so follow him on the gram. And last but not least, that Jin Nomster, who was very active on the page this week, so thank you. So those are our Instagram fans of the week. Shout out to them. But last but not least is our picture of the week, which I will simply sum up as Granny wants the cheeks, because she went to take her son or her grandson to Hooters for his 16th birthday, and she went there and found a bunch of flat butt girls saying that she might as well have showed him her own, which I'm not sure her 16-year-old grandson will want to see that, but the point well made. However, Granny, you took him to Hooters. You don't go to Hooters for the backside. Come on now. It's Hooters. You go for the boobs. I know Granny doesn't know, but I'm just saying, you can't be too mad. And especially depending on the state, you got to look at the employment staff.
Yeah,
Now-
she got to take him to something like Bottoms Up.
See, there you go. Bottoms up. That's a good place. You know,
Yeah.
I honestly would just probably take him to a place that is staffed with more black people.
There you go.
I'm just, you got to know what you're working with. Just saying.
Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt. It is so big.
I mean, in this case, no, but yeah. All right. So let's get to these movies. So I've started with this first category, so this way I can give you some fair warning about some stuff to not even watch. All these movies are rated 2 out of 5 or below. I'm not even going to get into the exact ratings because it's not even worth your time. Skip them. So first and foremost, which surprised myself, is Killing Hasselhoff. It's supposed to be a comedy where some guy has a death bet, needs money, and so in order for him to get the money, Hasselhoff has to die. It just was beyond corny even for me, and that says a lot. A lot. Like, this felt like Hasselhoff made a movie for Germans, but it was done in America. So yeah, no, this was. I'd rather watch Baywatch. This, yeah, skip it. Just skip it. Um, uh, Another thing, Ojo in the House. It's supposed to be like an African family comedy from a few years back. They dropped it on Netflix. I got through a single episode. I think I might have laughed once at the very end because someone got, someone accidentally took laxative, but it was someone that I grew to despise so much, like the character, that when they got them to drink the stuff, I was happy because I didn't like most of the stuff about the show. It was beyond corny. It was very, very corny. Skip it. There's another movie called 1BR, One Bedroom. It's about a girl who's looking for a new apartment, ends up in some weird cult society in this apartment complex, and tries to find her way out. The only redeeming factor of this movie is that some of the characters are relatable, but all in all, it's a really bad, boring roller coaster. I mean, and it's not even much of a roller coaster. Everything that's about to happen, you see coming. And it just wasn't hitting at all. Even the big twist at the end was like, well, no, duh. Skip it. Another thing that recently dropped, Santana. It's the story of two brothers who have risen to be top cops and top military officers, and they're looking for revenge against the group of criminals who killed their mother. I thought there was a lot of promise in this movie from watching, the trailer and reading the synopsis. I start watching this movie, right? And it starts off purely in another language, right? And I'm like, okay, foreign movie, another language, cool. I checked after about 5 minutes of this to see if the movie was in English, if I could change the language setting or the subtitles. And it was like, no, this is the original English. This is the whatever. Bro, you have to be in the mood. I can't stress this enough. You have to be in a mood to watch a movie with subtitles. And any movie that markets itself as an English movie and has 90% dialogue in various other dialects, it is not a movie done in English at all. I think I can think of all 5 lines that were actually said in English in this entire movie. Besides it being very basic, very basic, and a couple of, sex scenes, this movie, look, I don't go into an action movie expecting a lot. I didn't even get enough of the action. You get what I'm saying? Everything about this movie just did not hit at all, including 90% of it not even being in English. Ain't nobody trying to watch a movie in another language, not expecting to watch a movie in another language. And again, you're not expecting to watch a movie in another language. You don't want to watch a movie in another language. I watch stuff in subs all the time. Doesn't matter the language, doesn't matter, what it is. But I go into it knowing, if I'm about to watch, Fairy Tale, I know I'm going to be watching it in Japanese. I just know. Okay, cool. I'm ready to read subs. I'm going to watch, anything else. I'm like, yeah, there's going to be subs. All right, cool. You put yourself in the mindset. You're ready to read and watch. This movie marketed itself like it was about to be an English movie. I think there are 5 lines in English. 5. Mad. Had me mad, bruv. Mad. Skip it. I've talked about loving animal documentaries before. I was really disappointed in watching Tiny Creatures. I was hoping to see some really interesting stuff. It's mostly about different kinds of mice. I don't care about rodents like that. I really don't. And yeah, just no. I was hoping to get some stuff maybe on some bugs. I was hoping maybe to get some stuff on some microorganisms. I expected to see a mouse or two. But the other thing about it too is that a lot of this felt very dramatized. It didn't feel like a documentary. It felt like, they were literally putting animals in some really crappy scenarios, especially episode 2, when they somehow get a hamster that's in a hamster ball and send it outside to walk around in the city. It meets a cat while protected by the hamster ball, and then it was just so, skip it. Basura, skip it. We had another movie, Rogue Warfare. look, if you see anything that says Rogue Warfare, skip it. Just garbage. It's not even a good action movie. It's just a terrible, terrible movie. Rogue Warfare, Manhunt, skip it. Nonsense. All right. Now, we're done with all those movies to skip. Next are some movies to take a chance on, right? So, all the movies that are in this one, they are between 2.5 and 3.5. And why I'm going to say take a chance is because there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad, and sometimes it's just not for everyone. So let's get through the list. So first we have Sam J. 3 a.m. It's a comedy stand-up by a black woman who has become lesbian and has a fiance and talks about all of that stuff. Off the rip, no, it's not for everybody. So that's why it's here. For me, some of the jokes hit. Some of the jokes miss. I will happily say it's not over-the-top neo-feminism. I got through it. I enjoyed it. I know a lot of you won't, just because she's a gay black woman. So, automatically falls in this list. But I do suggest you take a shot. See where you stand on it. You may enjoy it. Rob Schneider, Asian Mom, Mexican Kids. Yeah, I really wanted to like this. I really did. There were parts of it that I really enjoyed. But when the best part of your comedy stand-up is the duet with your famous daughter singing, it means that you might want to work on your material. So, like I said, some of the parts I really enjoyed. I say take a chance on it. It's an alright comedy stand-up talking about his mom and his kids. I mean, anybody who has a family, well, it'll probably hit harder for you. And even still, you may be like, that's it? That's all you got? Then again, it's Rob Schneider doing something without Adam Sandler. So, I heard that, Charles. Also, Netflix did this, a quick crossover thing called Game On, and it's a bunch of their Netflix originals, like 4 episodes of the shows mixing and matching. I like the shows. They're very campy-ish. It reminds me of 80s, 90s sitcoms. I watch it. I would suggest taking a chance if you're looking for something wholesome to watch. The Tax Collector is also another movie that came out recently. Got some buzz about Shia LaBeouf doing cultural appropriation by being Mexican. Yet most Mexicans on the web were like, no, we like it. Welcome, Shia LaBeouf. Hey, he's Chicano now. That was most of the comments on the internet. And honestly, he was the best part to this movie. Unfortunately, he wasn't through all of it. So, take a chance on it. It's a story about 2 guys who work for one gang, and a new gang comes and says, work for us. And they don't know whether or not to make the smart move or the loyal move. And a whole lot of mess ensues. Some of this is predictable. A lot of it is slow. But by the end of it, I felt the ride was worth it. Take a shot. Now, for the kids who are a little too young for that, there's a movie called The Sleepover. And The Sleepover is about 2 kids who parents get kidnapped by an international gang of thieves, and they go to save them. Now, it's not quite Spy Kids, but it is pretty comical. I found myself laughing a lot through this movie. The fight scenes, definitely could have been better, but they weren't bad. And in all honesty, I really enjoyed a lot of the jokes throughout this. So if you want a family movie to watch, I would suggest this. Again, it's not Spy Kids, but it is pretty entertaining. Take a chance. But since I did mention Spy Kids, Salma Hayek had a movie with yeah, I know. But yeah, no, she had a movie, and it's called Drunk Parents, and it's about a family that used to be rich going into a bankrupt state and trying not to let everybody know that they're broke, and more importantly, that their daughter that they're broke. It's a big misadventure, and you'll see a lot of familiar faces. I thought it was a very witty movie, but it's definitely more white comedy than anything. So for some of y'all, it won't hit. It'll seem very slow. I thought it was a fun, enjoyable ride. So if you like a witty movie, a smart movie, this is definitely something to watch. Another stand-up I gave a shot was Whitney Cummings. And I... you know, when you have something called Can I Touch It? I'm hoping for a little more like ha ha ha. And it definitely was a bit more men suck. So, I like Whitney Cummings. I liked her show. I've liked previous stand-ups. I liked her when she's featured on things. She's a funny person. This particular stand-up, I really wasn't laughing too hard until about the sex doll thing at the very end of it. And yes, I said that. It's not the whole point of it. She actually has like a full-on robot brought out. It's really quite funny, which is why I will say take a chance on it, because I'd rather something have a bad start and a good ending than a good start and a bad ending. So take a chance on it. I didn't feel like I wasted my time by the end of it, but I definitely felt like there was time wasted watching it. And last but not least in this category, a show called Alien TV. And now, Alien TV is not exactly something I think adults are going to be wanting to watch, but I feel like they think that they can watch it with their kids, and I don't suggest it. It's like this really weird mix of too old for young kids and too young for adults, kind of like SpongeBob. So I will say take a chance on it, but you will be, you will be telling your kids that what the end of every episode is wrong and having to explain stuff to them. Now, I'm not going to get into all the ins and outs of it, but these are shows that you should definitely be watching. So I'm going to list them here. And if you want to know more about each one, well, you can either contact us on the Will's Review page on Facebook, or you can simply just read the synopsis before each and every one of these things that exist there. So, first is a series called Hoops. Next is season 2 of Trinkets, which is actually better than the first season. Both of these are on Netflix. The movie My Spy with Dave Bautista is on Amazon Prime. Check it out. All Together Now, which is a movie that just dropped on Netflix. Definitely give that a watch. Acts of Violence, a lot better movie than I expected. Give it a shot. Teenage Bounty Hunters, a must-watch surprise. Like, surprise. And I can't get into it right now, but you gotta watch it. Believe me, could not stop watching every episode. Just let me into the next. Straight binge of the season, no problem. Even though it was overnight, no problem. We have Toradora, a series that a lot of people told me was really sad, and by the end of it, I don't get why. But it's a really cool anime, slice of life thing I normally don't watch. You'll love it. Superman, Man of Tomorrow. This recently dropped, not on DC Universe yet, but it's worth a watch. We have Lucifer, the new season. Amazing. Can't wait for the season coming. And you'll love the surprise at the end of this season. You'll absolutely love it. If you've been a Lucifer fan, if you've never watched Lucifer before, watch this season. Wizards, Tales of Arcadia. Guillermo del Toro knows what he's doing when it comes to movies, and he knows what he's doing when it comes to animated series. All this stuff, Tales of Arcadia, any of it. Troll Hunter, Aliens, whatever. Watch them all. It's amazing. This is just another one to add into the bunch. Amazing. Then we have Project Power. Definitely watch it. Jamie did his thing. And last but not least, although it's not quite new, it's new to Netflix where you're already paying for it and you don't want to pay for YouTube anyway. Cobra Kai. Absolutely perfect. The only 5 on the 5 in that entire bunch. Perfect level campy, perfect level action, perfect level of everything that you loved from Karate Kid modernized. Watch it, watch it, watch it. On that note, folks, this has been another episode of Will's Review, and I'll catch you guys next time.